Hi, this is Joey Albert, and you're watching PhilippineNews.com.
This is my
Okay, my name is Rowena Donnelly. My maiden name is Aquino, believe it or not. And I was born in Hawaii, raised here in Southern California. I was married when I was 20 years old to a man who was in the Marine Corps. And shortly after he did his tour, we moved back to his home state, which was Iowa. And I lived there for a year and a half. And I moved back to California because he was in a car accident and was killed in a car accident. We had 2 sons, so I decided to come back home where my family was. And then shortly thereafter, I met Tim. We dated for 5 years, and we were married in 1993. We have 3 sons together, a total of 5 sons and a grandson. My husband and I, we have rules. I don't say we're strict, but we like our sons to follow the rules. When I met Tim, we were living in Whittier, and at that time, it wasn't as bad as it is now with the gangs and stuff. And Tim believed that he wanted to give my sons a better place to live where they didn't have gangs, because my sons lost their dad, and so he felt it would be better to raise them someplace in a more rural area. And so he bought a home in Lake Arrowhead. We live in a town called Twin Peaks, and we raised all our sons there. When he ran for assembly, he's in the assembly now, this is his 2nd term. The first time he ran for assembly, we had run a business for 20 years. We were in plastics, and the representative that represented our district, he had promised not to raise taxes, and he broke that promise. And so a radio group or a lot of people were trying to recall our assemblyman. So this assemblyman decided not to run for re-election again. And so my husband felt he needed to run because our district needed representation because there was nobody representing us. And after that, he ran for a 2nd term. He won there, and he beat all odds. He wasn't expected to win. And then after the 2012 election, in November, my husband came home and he said, it's been placed on my heart to run for governor. And I said, what? I says, we just got through running for the assembly. You got through running for the assembly seat. And he says, no, really, I feel like I'm being called to run for governor. And I said, okay. I says, I know I've been supportive of you the last 2 terms. I said, so I asked him, we're believers, and I said, we're just gonna have to pray about this, and I've never asked the Lord for anything, but on this decision, I really need confirmation on this, this huge task you want to take on. And so he and I, got on our knees and prayed, and we have a friend who had served in the assembly and in the state senate back in the late 80s, early 90s, I think. But his name is Senator Mountjoy, and he wrote the bill, Prop 187, and so he had called us one day and asked us to come over for dinner after the 2012 election. And he sat us down. Well, we didn't even sit down. And so he looked at Tim and he said, he says, I've really been thinking about this, and I really believe you should run for governor. Tim and I looked at each other. I said, do you think we got our confirmation? And he said, yeah. So then began the work of running for governor. He's been He's been campaigning for about a year and a half. In November, it'll be 2 years. And we really thought about the decision because it would open up to our personal life. They would scrutinize it. So when we made that decision that okay, we're going to do this, both of us had to be on board, or it wouldn't work. So.